So white displays this, uh, then this. So at this point, uh, if black plays this, white can't just keep on going reducing liberties, because then obviously white will die. So white first has to play this, which is kind of strange because you think you're filling in your own liberties, but because the stone's at G2, they first have to connect here, and then they have to make the other move. So in this case, when white make this move, black would have to connect, and like this, and black would have to make this move, and then white would win. Black could play the ko, but in this case, the ko is so big. There's nothing bigger on the board that black could do besides, like, he has this ko threat. Actually, let's move. He does have these two ko threats, so you could take the ko, and then so you go like this. Black would go like this, and then if black wanted to win this, he would have to play the ko, which is why, well, in this case, he would actually win this ko, but it's not usually good to make a ko if you don't have to. So, because black has more threats right now, but in this case, this avoids the ko, and it also kills. So white would make this move. Then white would try to reduce liberties, but it wouldn't work, because you can see right at this point, white can't do this because then black will kill anyways. And if white keeps on reducing liberties, black will kill. So it's not usually best to go for a ko even if you can win it, just because sometimes you might accidentally miss a ko that you didn't see or something, and then you realize it's worth more than what you're trying to fight for, and that could sometimes be the losing move. So in this case, white can die, so he doesn't want to make this move, but a lot of times this is the best move, especially if you're trying to reduce liberties. So let's move this move. Black made a big mistake here, and we both didn't notice it, which is really funny, especially since exams will load in. This is something that like never happens. So obviously you can see black is just captured like this and the game's over, but neither of us saw this until like later. So at this point, I made this move to try to reduce his liberties, so I still didn't see. And then if you'll notice right here, my group has 3 liberties and his has 4. So by making this move, I now had 5, and so I was winning the liberty race. So even though he fixed this, now he noticed it, as you can see in the comments. But yeah, it didn't even really matter, except that I didn't get those 2 stones. So right here, he just gave up on that. The game's already over. There's really nothing white can do, but he tries anyways. This is pretty common. Also, important thing to remember, it's not usually best to do moves like this, because for one thing, black can do something, or not this, I'm sorry, black can do this, and then the stone is dead over here. But in this case, because white's territory on the left side is more important, this might be okay, because white still has this corner invasion. So usually this is not okay to do this move, but I think in this case, I think it was fine for me. But if black did this, this I don't think is good for black either, because he only has 3 liberties on the top side, and at this point he can't kill anything. Yeah, he can connect to his group, but I can still kill him up here. He does this. he can't connect or anything. I can just throw in like this. So yeah, in this case, I think it was best for me to do this, but this is generally the best move. And then black gave up his Sente right here, which was really bad. He really needed to make either this move, or actually I think this move actually is kind of better in this case because you don't want white to get into your corner. So if he went like this, it would just start going towards into his corner, and that wouldn't be good for black. So usually it's not good to crawl on the second line, but he's crawling on the second line anyways, so I think this is fine. And then so in the game he gave up his Sente like this, but this was just poor reading by him. He probably thought he could do something with the stones at C18 in this zone. He probably thought he could try to somehow kill me. Or he was just hoping for a mistake because he knew he'd lose by now. But this thing you do. And this group still isn't completely settled. If I got a move around here or something, then he actually might be dead like this. If I made this move, he might be dead. So actually, when he invaded right here, and I got these moves right here, I think it was actually correct for him to jump, just straight jump right here now. But he made these moves first, which you don't usually want to, even if there's like a possibility you could cut or something. In reality, even though it seems like you, let's say you do this, so if you do this, it seems like you give the Aji of this cut, but in reality when it's like this, the Aji of that cut is always there. It's just not played out yet. So it's always good to leave the stones as they are. If you know there's some type of Aji that's there, then leave it there. Don't try to make all these moves, because all it does is give your opponent those moves. Now it makes it so you can't play here and stuff. You might want to play here later. So it's always good to keep Aji for later. Let's see. So game, we did this. Yeah, let me turn it up. And then his group on the top side is dead right now. So either he saves his group up here, and I get into his territory and he loses, or he responds to it like he did in the game and he loses his group and he loses. So it was a pretty tough game. He was also, as you can see by the time, he was on 30 seconds final time also, so he had to make moves pretty quick. But he spent a lot of time on the bottom side, and really when he lost that group around K4, he had lost the game. But I think the thing that really screwed him up in this game was way back when he decided on doing this variation instead of this one. I think was really what made the game tough for him. This isn't necessarily bad, but it was definitely difficult in this case, because by doing so, he made this group on the right side really heavy. Also, especially since I had the stones around the O17 and K16 area, it really made it very tough for him to get out, and it really made it. I think with those stones there, it was wrong of him to play this Josuke, because under normal circumstances he could escape to the bottom up there, or to the top. I'm sorry, but in this case, it's really tough for black to try to do that. So when you're picking Josukes, you always want to think about your surrounding areas. Don't just think, okay, well, it's a Josuke, so it has to be good, because that's not always the case. You always want to think of where the surrounding stones are, and you know, how it will relate to what you're picking. So any Josuke can be wrong, any Josuke can be right in any situation. You just have to pick which one to know, which one not to know. I personally recommend, if you're trying to study Joseki or something, Kojo's Joseki Dictionary, because that has pretty much all the Joseki on it. It's run by Breakfast 3 Pro. If you guys know who that is on KDS, Alexander Durchin, I think, Alexandre, something like that. Anyways, so this was a pretty well thought out game by Axam. I think just really picking this Joseki wasn't right by him because of my stones on the top side, and he really just picked a really tough fighter for himself. And of course, I made a bad mistake playing at E11, but in the end, of course, I won, so it was okay for me. But yeah, I would say you always want to think about the whole board when you're picking Josekis, and this game really shows how much a Joseki affects the rest of the game, because him picking this Joseki was what allowed me to kill his group that he made around J5, in which allowed me to pressure his group, and which allowed me to gain a lot of points by doing so, which is why I believe I won. So I would say if you really want to learn something from this game, just learn that you really need to be careful which Josekis you pick and how it's going to affect the surrounding areas. And besides that, that's about it. If I'm also willing to review your guys' games, I would say probably no one higher ranked than like better ranked than a 5Q, probably. If you're really high ranked, like 25Q or so, or in the 20s, you probably just want to have a personal game with me, because reviewing your game might not help everyone, because a lot of people know certain things that you might not know, so it might be easier just to personally review your game. So if you guys have any questions, just leave a comment or personal message me. My username on KGS is ZEP, as you can see, so I'm willing to do review games with you guys, or teaching games, or whatever I can do to help you guys. So thank you again. Please subscribe if you like these videos. I'll be updating some more, and I'll leave a question with you guys, just to keep you guys' interest. This was similar to what was played in the game. So this is a move that's played pretty often by beginners, because it's pretty normal to play this when you have someone play Sansan, because it's like kind of reaction. I'm going to show why this is a mistake in the next lesson, but I'll personally just give you some choices to pick to how you punish this mistake. I'll give you your choices. One of your choices is P16, the other one's P18, the other one's S17, and the other one's X16. So pick one of these and see if you get it correct in the next video. I'll give you the answer to that. Thank you.